Google just spent the last 7 years straight up lying to you about Chrome, and they're officially panicking because people are finally packing their bags and walking away. So for nearly a decade, Google has been hyping up this massive industry-changing initiative called the Privacy Sandbox. And the entire pitch to the public was that they were going to fundamentally rebuild how the internet works and completely nuke those pretty much creepy third-party cookies that silently follow you from website to website, while somehow magically keeping their massive advertising empire running smoothly. They dragged web developers, publishers, and government regulators through years of intense testing, grand promises, and endless PR statements, acting like they were leading the global charge for a safer, more private internet. But then, after all that exhausting top world, they officially canceled the core promise of replacing cross-site tracking and decided to just keep the old, highly invasive tracking system alive for, I guess, forever. Instead of actually protecting you like they swore they would, they just completely reversed course and left your privacy buried in the settings menu instead of giving you a real choice. And if you're using Chrome, you basically have like no privacy, let's be honest. Like, this wasn't just a minor software delay or a shifting roadmap. It was a deliberate, calculated, broken promise from a trillion-dollar advertising monopoly that realized that true privacy might actually hurt their bottom line. That they spent 7 years telling us they were going to fix the internet's biggest tracking problem, and in the end, well, they just slapped a cheap band-aid on it and just prayed nobody would notice the massive glaring hole that they left behind. But people absolutely did notice, and Google just got completely exposed by the exact people you do not want actually looking into your code. A team of cybersecurity researchers basically decided to audit Google's entire 7-year Privacy Sandbox experiment, and the receipts that they dropped on June 24th are absolutely brutal. Like, they didn't just casually complain about Chrome being bad, like they literally published a complete post-mortem proving that after all the hype, Google is still terrible for privacy. Like, in plain English, Google basically makes you negotiate for your own basic privacy, like to dig through obscure menus, flip random toggles, confusing settings, and even after all that, Google still tracks you in various ways. These researchers explicitly highlighted that alternative browsers like Firefox, Brave, and even Safari, really, they just hand you these stronger privacy protections by default. You don't have to ask for it, and you don't have to configure a single thing. It just works straight out of the box to actually protect you from data brokers. Google purposely built a system where your personal data is fully up for grabs unless you actively fight to protecting, knowing full well that the vast majority of everyday users will never bother checking those deep back-end settings. It is an absolute masterclass pretty much in corporate finessing. They get to put out shiny, feel-good PR statements talking pretty much about how much they value security, but meanwhile simultaneously keeping the back door wide open for their advertising partners to feast on your personal data. There's published proof that the company running the internet is just treating your privacy as just highly optional, which is honestly kind of disgusting. Because of this blatant bait and switch, well, the alternative browser movement is no longer niche. It has officially reached true mass market scale. People are actually packing their bags and leaving Chrome in numbers that honestly are staggering to look at. Just look at the official numbers from Brave, for example, which is one of the main browsers that are just entirely focused on putting user privacy first and also blocking trackers by default. As of May 31st of this year, Brave is officially reporting a whopping 117.6 million monthly active users, with nearly 50 million people using it every single day. That is a massive jump from where they were just a few short years ago, and it completely shatters the illusion that nobody cares about privacy. Now, obviously, you can't say that every single one of those 118 million people specifically left Chrome solely because of one broken promise, but it gives you undeniable hard proof that we are currently pretty much watching a massive cultural shift happen in real time. People are tired of feeling pretty much they are the product being sold to the highest bidder. When you have an alternative browser commanding an audience measured in the hundreds of millions, it just stops being a fringe alternative and just starts becoming a legitimate, undeniable exodus. Normal everyday users are just finally realizing that they don't actually have to use a browser made by the biggest advertising company on the planet. They are actually waking up to the fact that they have options in the first place, and they're actively choosing platforms that don't treat their browsing history like a free buffet for data brokers that honestly are going to get breached in 2 weeks. And just to make matters infinitely worse, like Google is literally about to just double down by permanently taking away the locks that you put on your own door. Like right now, at the very end of June 2026, well, Google is dropping Chrome version 150, and this is the massive dreaded update that everyone in the tech space has been warning about. This update officially removes the final remaining power user workarounds that allow classic deeply powerful privacy extensions like the full version of uBlock, for example, to actually function properly. Like they are forcing everyone onto a brand new high restricted extension system that severely limits what these tools can actually see and block on the websites that you visit. Like Google constantly tries to spin this as a necessary security and performance upgrade, but let's just be entirely real here. Like this is just 100% about control. Like Chrome users are officially losing the ability to choose how powerful their own privacy software is allowed to be. But here is where the GOAT Firefox actually steps up as the absolute hero of the story. Like Firefox is flat out refusing to follow Google's incredibly restrictive lead. Well, first of all, they don't use Chromium, so that's one thing. But they're also purposely keeping their original highly capable extension model just fully intact, meaning that real unrestricted versions of your favorite privacy tools will keep working flawlessly over there. Like, this entire situation perfectly highlights the ultimate philosophical split between these two massive browsers. Like it's not fundamentally about ad blockers. Like now it's about if Google actually gets to decide what software is allowed to run on your computer, or if you get to decide. By forcibly purging these extensions, well, Google is essentially telling its users that they are just no longer trusted. The sheer hilarious irony of this entire situation is that Google literally created its own worst enemy by being so incredibly stubborn and greedy. Like they had the absolute perfect opportunity to genuinely fix a tracking problem and keep their massive user base completely loyal to their ecosystem for the next decade. But instead their grand privacy replacement officially failed. Like they quietly kept the old invasive tracking systems running specifically to benefit their own advertising empire, and then they completely misread the room by deciding to punish the users who just try to protect themselves by restricting the tools that they use. They successfully manufactured the exact perfect storm needed to convince just millions of people to finally make the switch. It is honestly just a corporate fumble. Right now, Firefox, Brave, and just other alternative browsers, they don't need to run expensive flashy marketing campaigns. Their entire pitch is basically, hey, maybe it's time to stop using the web browser that is literally owned and operated by an advertising company. It's just that simple. It's so straightforward and undeniable that is actually embarrassing Google at this point. And personally, I cannot make this video without talking about personally one of my favorite, actually Chrome alternatives. That's very important. So if you want to switch away from Chrome, I think honestly Brave is the easiest one. Chromium based ones, I think Brave is probably the best one. You do have to spend some time turning up all the crypto bloat and all of that. There's also Firefox, LibreWolf. LibreWolf is more privacy hardened, so that's one thing. There's also ungoogled Chromium. There's also Helium browser, which is honestly really good. Or maybe something like Zen browser, for example. So honestly a lot of choices, and want to switch away from Chrome and just de-Google in general. So yeah, that's it for this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you next time.